Welcome back, my beautiful friends. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Up next in our all new PoliticGal segment brought to you by OGPay.com, we're featuring the amazing Cara Castronuova. She's an on air personality, a champion boxer, and star and head trainer of season 11 of NBC's The Biggest Loser. Today, a very long way from reality TV, she is the GOP and Conservative Party endorsed candidate for New York State Assembly District 22. She is running in this November's state assembly elections to represent New Yorkers in her very own district, keeping in mind that she was born and bred in those very towns. Now, District 22 covers the border of Long Island and Queens. Cara fights tirelessly for personal liberty, medical freedom, the elderly, at risk youth, and freedom of speech. She is seeking to unseat Democrat incumbent Michaelle Solages, a member of the Working Families Party who has been serving District 22 since 2013. Cara was active in her community well before deciding to run for office, running programs aimed at risk youth, where she taught the younger generation the mental and physical virtues of boxing. She founded the Knockout Obesity Foundation, which is a 501c3 that is dedicated to teaching children about health and a fighter's mindset. She is the daughter of a decorated U.S. Marine and a Vietnam veteran. She is currently founding a new nonprofit organization aimed at supporting veterans and others who served their country. She's doing incredible and amazing things, and I'm so excited to have her come on and chat. Welcome to the show, Stunner.
Thank you so much, Zen. That was a really nice intro. I appreciate it.
You got it, girl. All right. What is the biggest issue, Cara, facing your district, and what plan of action do you have in place once you are elected?
Well, the biggest issue facing my district and a lot of districts, if not all districts in New York, is crime. The crime rate has definitely gone up. People don't feel as safe. I've lived in this district for the majority of my life, and I never remember feeling not safe going for a run at night. Now I feel like I'm looking over my shoulder. I don't feel like it's what it used to be. So one of the things I would definitely want to work on is possibly helping. Hope I will actually work with Democrats up there. I'm running as a Republican. I will work with the Democrats in repealing the cashless bail and figuring out some criminal justice reforms that will work better than cashless bail and a lot of the other things that they put through in the state. So that's one of
You
the
know,
most important things that we have to do.
That's extremely important. I'm glad that you're fighting for that. And also, those of you that don't know you, I know you very well. We are friends, and I know that you are a staunch supporter of American prisoners currently languishing in solitary confinement due to their involvement in the January 6th incident. Talk to me about this dedication and why.
Well, I started a group called Citizens Against Political Persecution, and we fight really hard for anybody that's politically persecuted. Right now in America, Republicans, as everyone knows, are being persecuted very hard, from Donald Trump down to people that were at January 6th, regular people like carpenters and barbers who are still sitting in jail, languishing in prison since January 6th. So I started an organization to support them. We raised over $2 million by posting articles about their stories. People around America really care and have supported them. And it really gave me a different outlook on the criminal justice system, which definitely needs reform. But cashless bail and judges having no discretion, like what's going on here in New York, and raise the age and a lot of the other criminal reforms that they have going on, definitely is not the answer when it comes to criminal justice reform. It's just making the state really unsafe.
Yeah, you did say on the issue of bail reform, you said that New York's bail reform laws that went into effect in 2020 need to be repealed. It's not going to be easy to do, but you did once claim that if you get elected, one of the things you really want to do is really help write legislation that's going to protect New Yorkers from things that really hurt them, especially during the pandemic, and legislation to protect seniors in nursing homes. I know that that's one of your strong points, to protect people also from those crazy COVID-19 and the vaccine mandates, and also to help New Yorkers with crime and, like you said, bail reform. So you're on the right path. I love the way you just explained that. Let's segue a little bit into the data published by the U.S. Customs and Border Protection. So this fiscal year, year, Cara, authorities had over 2 million encounters with people attempting to cross into the US illegally, and had encounters with over 13,000 unaccompanied minors at the southern border in the month of July of 2022 alone. All right. So now we're well into the fall. Now, some 67% of all Southwest land border encounters so far this year were single adults, with 52% of them allowed to remain in the US. What do you say to this?
It's frustrating, as I know it's a divisive topic. Obviously, I believe in legal immigration. My mother was from the Philippines and she came here legally. It's really difficult, and I just know that a lot of people are frustrated because there's so many problems we have here in this country. There's a lot of people in my district that aren't working; they're unemployed. They're really suffering from inflation. The taxes have gone out of control. So I think that really focusing more on New Yorkers and focusing on my district first, and then New York, and then the USA first, is where anything that I get involved with, or bills I write, will be focused on.
Yes, of course. We do have, 48% of people that were trying to, these people that were seeking asylum, essentially, they were expelled from the country under something called Title 42, and that's a Trump imposed law. But that's about to end, which means that our border is going to be opened to even more illegal immigrants attempting to come in, or asylum seekers. But the bottom line, Kara, is President Biden needs to do his job and secure the border. These border communities are overwhelmed, and Biden's open borders policies are encouraging record high illegal crossings and deadly drugs like fentanyl to flood into Texas, and it trickles right here into the East Coast. So I really don't blame Governor Abbott for sending them east and trying to drive the message home. But the Biden administration currently is openly incentivizing and rewarding illegal entry into the United States. So not sure why everyone is confused as to why this is happening. And I definitely want to get your input here, because this is also contributing to the very crime in your district. Okay, so it's all part of the bigger problem.
Well, this is what happens when there's one party rule anywhere. New York, obviously, we know is one party rule. The legislature, the Senate, the governor, and also the judges are all, very, very liberal. So it's one party rule, and there's absolutely no, there's nobody fighting back. And the same thing with the country. Crazy things happen, like what we're talking about with all this, with all illegal immigration, which you're right, a lot of it does lead to crime, and fentanyl is a particularly big problem. I think there was 70,000 deaths related to fentanyl last year, and those are just the ones reported and proven. I know many people who've overdosed on fentanyl, which has been mixed into common street drugs. So they're making it in China, and they're smuggling it over the border in Mexico, and it's heartbreaking because I don't want to, even talk about personal stuff, but I personally have been impacted by people who have died because of fentanyl.
Oh, yeah. They're putting it in cereal boxes, Kara. And with the holidays around the corner and kids accessing this stuff, a very, very tiny, minuscule amount can kill a child. This is out of control with what's happening.
Right, and it's frustrating that the government is not focusing on fentanyl, and they're focusing on arresting January 6 prisoners or persecuting Donald Trump, when what they really should be focusing on is getting to the bottom of this fentanyl crisis and sex trafficking and so many other things that the FBI and the Department of Justice has been ignoring. And the same goes with the Attorney General here in New York. She's persecuting Donald Trump and people who supported him, when really there's so much other things she should be focusing on, like illegal immigration, like fentanyl that's here in New York. It's such a big problem. I talk to police all the time. There's Narcan workshops popping up in every neighborhood to fight this fentanyl problem. So these are things that the government should be focusing on, but they're not. And it's very sad. And that's something I definitely, like I said, I've been recently affected by someone I really cared about passing away. I don't even want to talk about it. Like it's so horrible. I don't think until somebody that they care about and love is affected by this, will they really care? But
Yeah.
it's very real. And if you have kids that experiment, I mean, all kids experiment with drugs, and this is something that they're putting in regular recreational drugs that's killing kids, that's killing grown-ups, and it literally just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah. And this all does boil down, Cara, to our borders not being properly secured nor patrolled. And since October 1, U.S. Customs and Border Protection has stopped more than 1.9 million migrants along the border with Mexico. But nationwide, they've encountered more than 2 million migrants. And the number of unaccompanied children, which is now contributing to child trafficking. So the amount of unaccompanied children stopped at the border also rose to over 15,000, with about 800 children being in U.S. Customs custody each day. This is a huge, huge problem. And where do these kids end up? Probably on the streets, probably doing, contributing to crime and terrorizing communities if they don't get the proper mentorship and help that they need, because these children don't have anybody. They're just dropped off.
And I think that's why it's really important that people get out and vote in November for Republicans, because we have one party rule and there needs to be a check and a balance. I think that in November we'll take back power in the Congress, and Lee Zeldin will get elected to governor here in New York, and hopefully other states will elect Republican governors and Republican state senates and state assemblies, so that we could restore America to a place where there's not one party rule, and that there's check and balances in government like the way it should be, or else the country goes crazy like it is right now.
You said it best. You are amazing. I'm definitely going to send lots of love your way. Can't wait for you to get elected. You are going to represent that district the best that anybody has represented it in over a decade. And I can't wait to see you out there and shine. Cara, thank you so much for coming on. You're awesome.
And people, if they want, you could contribute to my campaign at Cara for Assembly, CARA for Assembly.com. And my district is right here on the borderline of Long Island and Queens on the Nassau side: Elmont, Valley Stream, Franklin Square, Floral Park, Northwood, near Stewart Manor. So I would have a voice in the assembly and be able to fight for all New Yorkers and for freedom. And that's what I really want to do. So please check out my website, Cara for Assembly, and contribute, because the election is just around the corner.
Oh, we're going to get you elected, girl. All right. Definitely. The 2022 New York State Assembly election is going to be held on November 8th this year, which will elect representatives for all 150 districts across the state. You can check out Cara on her website, carafораssembly.com. And that was our PoliticGal segment, brought to you by ogpay.com. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Caldwell Soames Incorporated, investing globally in transformative businesses like Original Digital Corporation, or ODC. ODC develops advanced consumer and commercial fintech solutions such as OGPay, which will transform the way you manage your money. From sending and receiving money globally for free, paying for goods and services in person and online, pay bills, buy and sell digital currencies, all while earning interest. OGPay is easy to set up, FDIC insured, and your information is secured. Check out ogpay.com.